Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Intel stock suffered a deep sell-off from short sellers on Friday, falling as much as 12.7% after the opening bell. The reason is that the company reports its first quarter earnings after the bell on Thursday. Revenue and profit beat analysts' expectations, but the company's second quarter outlook fell short of Wall Street expectations, causing its stock to be sold off heavily by short sellers. In fact, the company's stock price continued to decline in April. The bulls almost gave up resistance and were always suppressed by the bears. The reason behind this is that the company's development prospects are unclear and its revenue capabilities are questioned by investors. Investors worry that the company will lose out in the semiconductor competition with its peers. So it's not surprising that exit funds are going to more competitive chipmakers. But we all know that there are no stocks that fall all the time. The company has looked for ways to improve its competitiveness, including its upcoming Gaudi 3 AI accelerator to challenge rivals NVIDIA and AMD to expand its AI market share. Shift to foundry model to compete with TSMC. The current assessment of Intel stock price, which fell sharply by 9.2% on Friday, seems to be oversold by investors. 120 million shares were traded on Friday, almost double the previous day. Judging from the 10-minute chart, a large number of transactions were concentrated in the morning. It rose during the session but immediately retreated. It was pulled up again by bulls in the late trading, and there were a large number of transactions at the last moment. This price action suggests the stock may have a bounce next week, but we'd like some additional evidence to support that view. This Friday, many analysts made ratings and target price predictions for Intel stock. We selected the ratings given by analysts from 8 companies for analysis. Only analysts at JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have sell ratings, 5 have hold ratings, and 1 has a buy rating. The highest target price is $68, the lowest is $34, and the average target price is $40.13. Based on Intel's current stock price of $40.13, the company's stock will have room for a 26% increase in the future. Overall, analysts' forecasts for the company's stock price are relatively positive. Let's take a look at the market performance of this company's industry on Friday. Yes, that's right. Among the major players in the semiconductor industry, only Intel stock fell on Friday. NVIDIA rose 6.18%, Taiwan Semiconductor rose 1.26%, Broadcom rose 3.84%, AMD rose 2.37%, and Qualcomm rose 1.45%. It's not surprising that NVIDIA stock led the gains on Friday as it had fallen significantly the day before. This stark difference in price action could reverse next Monday. In the technology sector, semiconductors rose 3.57%, semiconductor equipment rose 2.73%, software infrastructure rose 1.73%, software application rose 0.63%, computer hardware rose 1.46%, and consumer electronics fell 0.34%. The semiconductor and equipment industry was the clear winner on Friday, driving the S&P 500 higher. Looking at Friday's data for the 3 major indexes, the S&P 500 rose 1.02%, Dow Jones rose 0.4%, and the Nasdaq rose 2.03%. It is worth mentioning here that there was heavy selling by short sellers on the 3 major indexes late on Friday, which does not feel good. The S&P 500 index has risen significantly ahead of the Dow Jones index. If it reverses next Monday, the technology sector may be suppressed. If this is the case, it may also prevent Intel's stock price from rebounding. Let's take a look at the capital inflow and outflow data of Intel stock in recent trading days. We found this by comparing the stock's capital trend data with its stock price movements. Intel stock price continues to fall, and the net inflow of funds means that the main funds are leaving the market. Thursday's data was particularly telling, with net outflows totaling $188 million and 66 million shares traded. But the volume increase on Friday could be a sign that a bottom is forming. The net inflow of Intel stock funds on Friday was $116 million, which may be evidence of the entry of major funds. We hope so. And I will continue to pay attention to this stock and bring the latest analysis. Please click to subscribe. Intel said its foundry revenue was $4.4 billion in the quarter, down 10% year-over-year. The unit reported a third-quarter operating loss of $2.5 billion. Intel said last month that its foundry would post an operating loss of $7 billion in 2023. Intel is transitioning from a designer and manufacturer of its own chips to a maker of chips for third-party customers. So far, the company says it has 6 customers, including Microsoft. Intel's biggest business remains making chips for personal computers and laptops. Its chip sales reportedly totaled $7.5 billion, a year-on-year increase of 31%. Earlier this month, the company said it would release a new server AI processor called Gaudi 3 designed to compete with NVIDIA's popular graphics processing units, though it won't ship until later this year. Intel said it expects sales of its Gaudi 3 chips to exceed $500 million in the second half of this year. We return to the 10-minute chart of the company's stock price. If Pointa is the main funds entering the market instead of exiting, then a rebound in the stock price is possible next Monday. We cannot accurately judge the direction of funds here, but we hope so. A strange thing here is that at point B, the bulls did not continue the upward trend, but had a sharp decline. This is really suspicious, indicating that the pressure to sell is still very high. If the stock price falls next week and breaks through point C, it will undoubtedly be a strong bearish signal. So investors need to pay attention to this position. The long-term forecast for Intel stock price requires that the company have a clear growth prospect in artificial intelligence and foundry services. That is to find profit growth points other than chip sales. Facing many strong competitors in the semiconductor field, it is obviously not easy to achieve this goal. But the company seems to be working hard to break through the limitations, and I believe Intel will give the answer in the near future. That's it. The above is my analysis. If you have different ideas, please leave a message below. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. See you in the next video.